So I'm a week into the sugar diet slash sugar fasting, and one of the big things I've experienced so far is my reduction in coffee dependency. I'll dive into more of that in a moment, but in today's video, what I want to cover is kind of like the update of everything so far, what the first week of sugar fasting and following a more like sugar diet approach to my nutrition, how I've approached the weekends as a family man and kind of not being a bit weird. The differences I've found between 0 calorie fasting and sugar fasting, and an example sugar fast day. So just to touch base on the week 1 update. So this week I hit a low of 105 and I haven't actually gone any lower than that this week. So I had the initial drop last week after my sugar fasting days. And then from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the days that I brought starches back in, and I'll discuss a bit more of that in due course, my weight kind of maintained at that 105. I went up 0.1 on one day. But to be honest with you, I was really happy with that because I've not tracked any calories. I've been eating pretty much as I comfortably want to, not pigging out unnecessarily, but eating relatively normally. And I felt really good. Now, in regards to the sugar fasting, I had done a 4-day complete sugar fast, so no fat and no protein for those first 4 days. And then on day 5, which was Friday, I had sugar fasted for the day. And in the evening, I just had a chicken breast salad with some barbecue sauce on top, which was really good. I was amazed at how much I appreciated that protein, and yeah, it tasted amazing. And all it was chicken breast, but I never thought chicken breast would taste so good. Now, some of the side effects that I found in week 1 was I was going to the toilet more, both number 1 and number 2. I found I was pooing a lot more, a hell of a lot more. But I found that by the end of the week, especially when I brought the starches back in over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was a lot less. But when I was eating mainly fruit and table sugar and honey, it was kind of not coming through me, but kind of going through me to some degree. So that took a little bit of getting used to, but I definitely think I've come out of the other side for there. My goal is to get to around that 95 to 97 kilo mark. So currently sitting at that 105. So I want to get down to about 210 to 215. So I think I'm currently sitting about 230 pounds, I think. So I'm looking to lose about 10 to 15 pounds over the next, say, 10 to 12 weeks. And my sleep over this week, I think, has been some of the best that I've had in a long while. My REM, so I wear an Aura ring and I've been tracking my data for absolutely ages. And I generally get good sleep anyway, so I don't have an issue with sleep. But what I've noticed is my REM sleep has gone through the roof, and I'm now getting at least 2 hours of REM sleep every night or more. And I'm having quite vivid dreams and I'm really remembering them as well. So I'm feeling really good. And on the feeling really good, energy wise, obviously I'm taking in carbohydrates. I feel fantastic. And yeah, it's just unreal. Now, I mentioned it at the start of this video, that coffee dependency, like the way that's changed, that's probably been to me the biggest game changer, because I don't have a coffee addiction. Classic thing that an addict would say, but I definitely have a form of dependency. Anyone that drinks a lot of coffee knows if you miss your morning coffee or like only have one compared to how many you normally have, you'll get a bit of a headache and stuff like that. So you'll drink water, you'll hydrate with electrolyte stuff, but it still ain't a good time. I found after 4 days, well, I found after 2 days, but I found by day 4 of the sugar fasting, I was not forcing myself to have a coffee, but it was purely habitual. And then over the weekend, I bought back in a flat white, but I used skim milk. Never a good time. Like, red milk is absolutely dog shit. But I used skim milk, so I was obviously keeping my fats as low as possible. And I just didn't really want it. It's wild. I mean, I still love coffee. So I've been having my black coffee, and I still have 1 to 2 coffees a day because I thoroughly enjoy the taste of coffee. But I'm amazed at how I now don't need that morning coffee. I wake up, I have my water with electrolytes, and pretty much I just crack on with the day. And now I wait to have my first coffee rather than pretty much having my water followed straight away by a massive cup of coffee. So it's very interesting. I'm enjoying the fact that I don't depend on caffeine now, but yeah, we'll see what it looks like over the weeks to come. So the first week has kind of taught me a few things. Obviously, you've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and people discussing their experiences, their journeys. Listen to Cole Robinson, obviously Mark Bell as well, who I said originally got me onto this all. And Cole has said, like, it's not a sugar diet, it's sugar fasting, because it doesn't necessarily have an end date. Sugar diet means that you have to do this for a set amount of time and then that's it. Whereas sugar fasting is just like with normal fasting, you use it as a strategy amongst your normal diet protocol. Now, for me, I've already kind of adapted what I want to use it for within my current week, because I'm looking at my training load and my training stress and thinking, when do I want to give myself, say, some lean proteins to help recover it in the evening? Or what are the days that I can kind of just stick to a sugar fast? Now, week one, I kind of did it as prescribed. Sugar fast, Monday to Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I kind of brought those carbohydrates back. I brought the lean proteins back in the evening and kind of maintained carbohydrates throughout the day. But now this week, I was going to sugar fast on Monday, which was yesterday, but I had a really heavy lifting day. Performance in the gym, by the way, is going very well. I hit my heavy squat session a week, which I think was four reps at 210 kilos. And then I had my heavy deadlift, which was 4 at 240 kilos. And then I had my heavy bench press today, which was 5 at 130 kilos. So training wise, I'm feeling really good. But yesterday, after my lifts, I then followed that up with an FTP test on the bike erg. Now, I'm prepping for a powerlifting competition, so a national level powerlifting competition in 10 weeks time, but I've also got a half Ironman in 16 weeks time. So I kind of wanted to get some benchmarks on the bike to get an idea of where I'm currently at there. Now, after that session, I was wiped out. So I've been obviously eating plenty of carbohydrates, but I thought I'm going to help my body repair, but at least giving myself some protein that evening. So I went with some 95.5 mince, so 5% beef mince, and 99 or 98 turkey mince. So mix them together, made a nice little Mexican bowl salad, decent. Felt really good, woke up today, bang on the same weight. So really does, I've noticed whenever I do incorporate obviously the proteins in the evening, my weight generally does stabilize and haven't seen much of a difference. But we'll see what I wake up tomorrow, because today is a sugar fasting day. Now, something else week one taught me was how much of essentially a carb phobe I was. Like, I didn't realize how much I underate carbs, because either I was on plan or I was off plan. If I was on plan, generally that was a high protein, high fat style diet with maybe some fruit added in. But when I was off plan, it was just eating everything and anything, which means high fat, high protein, or moderate protein, and high carbs. That's the recipe for disaster, which kind of got me to where I kind of got to initially. Now, I've been coaching clients for over 13 years, and I know the value of carbohydrates, and especially for performance, because I train a lot of athletes that prep for, say, half Ironmans, marathons, half marathons, powerlifting, all sorts. So I understand the value of them, but I realize in my own nutrition, I've kind of lacked that high carb approach and say that lower fat. So this has been a very interesting week, and I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing what happens over the next couple of weeks to come. Now, how I approached the weekend on this type of nutritional approach was I still kind of followed the principle. I still kept it low fat, pretty much low protein, and high carb. So my day started out with some oats, and I had some table sugar on top of that. Really nice little crunch on top of oats. Hadn't done that since I was a child, so that was a really nice thing to give a go on this weekend. And then throughout the day, I was kind of just grazing on, say, fruit, dates, bananas, berries, all sorts of different fruits throughout the day, which have been really good. And I felt very good doing it. And then the evening has been like a chicken burger. So I just got a nice ciabatta roll with chicken breast and some barbecue sauce in there again, just because it's made some sugar. And yeah, that was a nice treat as well. So Saturday, Sunday was pretty much similar days. And I felt energized. I felt good going into this week as well. And again, had some really good sleep over the weekend. I did kind of give myself a little bit of a treat of having some cereal. So I had some Frosties, frosted flakes, and some shreddies, so some frosted shreddies. I had them dry, just so, again, no fat or anything with them, but it also takes me longer, and there's more like a nice snack rather than necessarily just shoveling down a bowl of cereal really quickly. So that was a nice touch. However, kind of the big thing I think this week I've realized is that urge to kind of eat more often. I was quite comfortable either not eating or going decent periods of time in between meals. Whereas now I wake up and my stomach starts to tell me it's hungry very quickly. If I don't have something early, I know about it. Now I don't feel bad, I don't know energy or anything like that, but I'm just hungry. And I am going to the fridge a lot more often. And that is something I don't like. I could be probably a bit more diligent with things. I could maybe put some more honey or some more table sugar and stuff and maybe get a bit more satiated at these particular meals. But when I work from home, my clients come to my home gym or I work online with clients, it means I have access to the fridge all the time. So I do find I'll take a couple of dates or I'll take a couple of grapes or I'll have an apple. I am grazing a lot more. So that is something which is not necessarily a problem per se, especially if you have access to it, but I don't know how much I like that. Also, I'm going through a lot of juice. And I need to watch that because I'm kind of swapping water for juice. If I'm thirsty, I'll go to the fridge and have a swig of juice rather than having water. So it's something I noticed this week, which I'm going to implement this week, is make sure I'm drinking a lot more water. Now my second last point is kind of discussing the differences between 0 calorie fasting and sugar fasting. Now, I enjoy fasting. I really enjoy like no eating fasting because it kind of feels like a challenge and I'm constantly stressing myself in a way which kind of feels good. But then since I've then introduced the sugar fasting, I just feel better. Now it's obvious because I'm taking in energy, so obviously you'd feel better. But I'm surprised at how much better I feel, and my weight hasn't necessarily changed because of it. It's not necessarily in a negative way. And I have less of a binge tendency. What I found whenever I do 0 cal fasts, I'd try and break my fast with fruit, and then I'd have a big meal, and then I'd probably have another meal, and then I'd have some more, and I'd really like batch all this food in a very short amount of time. And it wouldn't necessarily leave me feeling the best. I wouldn't feel bad, but I could definitely feel better. And because I have such a huge appetite, I can just keep eating and eating. And when I'm not eating, I'm thinking about eating. That food noise is prevalent all the time with me. So with the sugar fasting, it's kind of handy because when I do think of food, I'll go and eat. And when I don't think of food, I don't eat. And I don't have that necessary restriction. So I'm definitely feeling better for it. Now, on the lines of the binging, I found this week, so I was eating some shreddies on Saturday. And as I was eating them, there wasn't like loads of it left in the bag. But whereas normally, it's on Sunday, where I'd normally think, right, I'm going to be back on it tomorrow, I'd finish it even though I wasn't hungry. Whereas what I decided, I was like, I'm just going to finish this bowl and I'm going to leave the rest. I don't need to eat them now. And that sounds like a really simple thing. But by not having that all or nothing mindset just means you have a lot more chance of success, because if you're not binging and starting again on Monday, it just means you're not going to overdo your calories on a Saturday, Sunday, and then you're just carrying on. So it sounds really simple, but for those that understand about like food noise and kind of that all or nothing kind of mentality towards things, it's a slippery slope. And if I don't binge, it means I can be more consistent rather than constantly starting again. It keeps me focused, which I very much am enjoying, and I've enjoyed this week. Still early doors, but I'm going to take it as a win. I'm going to take it as a real positive. You've got to look at the glass half full rather than half empty. Now, to round off this video, an example sugar fasting day. So today, and this is what I'm having today and what I've had today. I've had 2 coffees, and that's where I'm at for the day, no more than that. I had a frozen banana smoothie. So I had 2 bananas that were frozen with some water, some honey and some table sugar in that, and some dates. Threw that in, absolutely amazing. Really, really enjoyed that. I've been snacking on a bunch of dates throughout the day. I've got some dried mango, which is just dried mango and nothing else added in, no crap added in, which is, I love mango as a whole, and dried mango even better. Then I've got a bunch of fruit for the rest of the day. So I've got some strawberries, I've got some raspberries. I've got some frozen fruit as well, which I'm gonna make another smoothie a bit later. I've had 2 mugs of orange juice. Well, one was orange juice, one was apple juice. So decent amount there. I've trained, which is decent. And then on top of the fruit, this evening, I'll either have another like banana and date smoothie, or I might just have a salad with some balsamic vinegar on top. So my salads have generally been lettuce, carrots, some beetroot, and some balsamic vinegar on top, just as a different change, a bit of a crunch compared to the sweetness and a lot of the softer stuff with the smoothies and that. So that's pretty much been my example sugar fast I'm kind of following. Having the salad in the evening has been a nice difference. So I did, for the first 2 days of my sugar fast last week, I was having fruit all day, which was fine. But I found by having that salad in the evening, didn't change anything on the scales. My scales still went down the next day, and I kind of felt better about it because there's a different taste. So yeah, that's kind of my week 1 summary. Hopefully that helps. Really appreciate all the questions on my last video. It was really interesting kind of discussing in the comment section there. I'd love to hear more of your feedback, kind of bits that, you know, if you've given this a go, how you've been finding it. I'm seeing a lot obviously about that hormone FGF21, which is really helping with like the fat burning and metabolism stuff. It's something that I am going to read more into, just haven't had the time. But I do keep seeing that cropping up, obviously on videos, in the comment section. So any stuff you want to throw at me, throw it. I'll try and get back to you. Really appreciate every single one of you. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Hopefully you enjoy this video. And don't get me wrong, all these videos on my channel isn't now going to all be about sugar fasting, but this is just currently where I'm at the moment, and hopefully I can get this information to you guys and hopefully inspire you. If you want me to cover anything in particular, again, do drop it in the comments down below. But thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.